What's up, guys? My name is Doug. Welcome to this channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Today we're finally getting to the Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight video that so many of you have asked for. I apologize for the delay, but no more waiting. It's here. And I know you're all as excited as I am to be jumping into this project, listening to it, and talking about it. A lot of people, well, I don't want to generalize, but I've seen some opinions online saying that this album is bad, that it is not the quality that they would expect from Travis Scott, and so we're going to be talking about all those points today while we listen to this thing. And I personally enjoy this album. It's definitely one of his more mainstream projects. There are a lot of radio-friendly songs on here that, you know, you don't really find on some of his other stuff. So it's part of the reason why I enjoy it so much is I think that Travis put a lot of hits on this thing. So, you know, I'm not going to waste too much of your time with this introduction. We're going to be jumping right into this project. Before we do that, though, I just want to say that if you would like a reaction video or a review to any one of your own projects, hit me up on my Instagram. I would love to talk to some of you guys about doing that, and yeah, that'd be the way to do it. Just hit me up on my Instagram, we can talk, and with that being said, let's jump right into this project. The first track is The Ends, featuring Andre 3000. Let's get it.
Fall asleep this time.
This is so trippy.
Only you
hear the strings? I always love this intro right here, man. And then the beat switch up, super dope.
One eye open as a hobby. Call up 50, tell them load up the lobby. Elevator up, no need that we press the issue.
Those really subtle melodies are killing it, dude.
Them on my big dick, check and some left. This is all survival, but please be careful. I came up in the town, they were murdering kids. And dumped them in the creek up from where I live.
This is the project where Travis stopped putting his features in the track titles, and so I had no idea that 3 Stacks was on this the first time I heard it, and just hearing his voice and his verse come in, I'll always remember that moment where my mind was blown because I really wasn't expecting it. And so I feel like that was brilliant on Travis's part. This beat is extremely wavy. I love the beat switch up. The introduction where it's so trippy and haunting is just so sweet, man. It's definitely a really cool introduction to the project. Way Back is next. Let's get it. That's not Way Back. Gotta love the Kid Cudi hums, bro.
I fall asleep with a tech, crashing on the pills on my desk.
It's so simple, but it's so wavy.
Go crazy on the wall. I can never go stay.
That synth bass is nuts. I personally love this beat switch up on Way Back. I think this part right here is so beautiful.
Look, boy, don't believe us on your TV, look, boy.
Yeah.
Would it be unlawful? Yeah. To spend a Sunday moon in a brothel and share pics from the camera.
Yo, the vocals in the background are so scary.
I just built a castle deep in them trees. That's how I get them back. Way back for me. Way back for me.
The energy is so awesome. Such an awesome song, dude. The first part is okay, but the highlight of this track for me is that second portion of it, man. It's so beautiful, it's wavy, and it takes me somewhere, you know? It's just so fire, the way that the hums and the really deep vocals in the background, it's great. And he got the Kid Cudi hums on this track, so I mean, you can't hate on it.
I know they can't stay, I know why they mad, nigga. You gonna tell me I can
Yo, the little bells are so dope.
Need some more. Bring that money fast if I had to. Break that money back if I had to. Turn with the boot to the bar. Run at the turn with the breeze in my rockstar skin. Corn at the turn with the breeze in my rockstar skin.
Like, I think the beat's well produced and all that. It's not as interesting as some of the other songs for me on this project, so I personally don't really come back to it all that much. But whenever I'm doing a playthrough of this project, I tend not to skip this track. I don't know exactly what it is about it that makes it less appealing to me than the other songs. But it's not as good, you know, as some of the other tracks. It's okay though, it's not trash. Next track though is one of my favorites, Through the Late Night. Let's get it.
Sleep through day, then we play. all through the late night. Sleep through day, all through the late
The humming is so great, dude. Kid Cudi's a genius.
soaring, out like in the space. 4 in the morning, oh, it don't matter. Got smoke, drinking, I'm in the space.
This beat's so great. Yo, the little melodies. Dun, 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 dun. So brilliant, dude. They're so fire.
No sleeping in my bed, and we gon' play, gon' play through the day and night. I toss and turn, I keep stressing my mind, right?
Yeah. I need the collab project.
Find your balance.
Yeah.
God said it is my talent. Speaking of the season on the salad. Stroke my cactus. Ooh, don't wait. Gonna see my teeth.
Yo, that's one of the best songs off this project. It's a banger all the way through. Kid Cudi and Travis Scott need to drop a collab project, and I need it now. The beat is fantastic. The humming is great. The hook is great. Both their verses are very fire. I personally love that song. Coming off of a weaker track like Coordinate, it picks your mood right back up again. It takes your hopes for this project and takes them right back up again. It's great. And then next track is Biebs in the Trap, so it's a really dope sequence coming off of a weaker track.
Got a white bitch snoring, not snow. Said she want me on niggas in the party. Parents gonna leave the keys to the condo. So I'ma get more.
The vibe to this one is untouchable.
This shit I'm with a white bitch sniffing on Bieber. Are you sure you wanna party with the demons? Bitch looking for a phone, I ain't seen it.
Sleepy, night night, flashes, spotlight, pulling, nice, ride me, strike me, indict me, snipe me, swipe.
This just goes to show, like right here, this is just a testament to how great this beat is, because Travis Scott is doing the least right now with his delivery, with his performance. Literally just barely saying anything at all, and it still sounds incredible. Drove back to the hood Lambo.
Crazy girls got it poppin', AOD got it poppin'. Tryna text my account.
She said she want more. She said she want
That
more.
bass is so hard. Yeah, man, the vibe to this is great. The bass to this track is so thick. It's so heavy, you know, especially coming off of the speakers. It knocks so hard. It's a slower track, super great to vibe out to. You know, Nav does his thing, and I'm not really a big Nav fan, but he definitely gets into his bag for this track. Very wavy delivery. Travis Scott proving how great production is on this track by doing very little at the first part of his verse. When he picks up his verse though, when he picks up the pace a little bit, again, very solid delivery, very cool verse from Travis. Very wavy. I love the ad-libs. You know, they're really, if they weren't there, it would make such a huge difference. And I feel like people do give his ad-libs attention, but not enough, you know? Because they're there, and they're almost not noticeable in that when you hear them, you don't even realize, oh, he's doing ad-libs. But if you take them away, it changes the entire track. So I hope that makes sense what I just said, but people should definitely give Travis Scott more credit than they already do for his ad-libs, because they're absolutely great. SDP Interlude, I love this one also. It's really smooth, and it's just a really cool way to kick back after having those two very fire tracks that we just listened to. Another song that takes you somewhere else. Like, next time you hear this, just put on your headphones and close your eyes and just experience it. It's great. This loop right here is mind-blowing. That little effect right there, the whole track just builds so sick. This percussion, dude.
Smoke some drinks on pop one. 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 Yeah. Smoke some drinks on pop one. Drinks on
So sick, dude. Just vocalizing with the instrumentals, it's so sick. Yeah, man, nothing really needs to be said. That's just a beautiful interlude, dude. Next track I'm not really fond of, Sweet Sweet. I feel like it's kind of annoying, but we'll listen to it. Although this one, unlike Coordinate, I do tend to skip on my normal playthroughs.
How was it? I don't like my jokes. Sweeping downstairs in the basement with the most. Can't look like for look. Yeah. Come get a taste, come get a scope.
Yeah, man, you know what it is? I don't like that beat. It's just not for me, you know? And then the hook, well, not really the hook, but when Travis Scott does the "and you're sweet" thing, it just sounds annoying to me. So add that to the fact that I don't really like the beat, and I really can't listen to the song all the way through on a normal playthrough, you know? So one thing I will say is Travis's verse and his delivery on this is great. I do think that if you took the vocals from this, minus that hook, and you placed them on another beat, I would really enjoy them, you know? It's mixed well, and his ad-libs are great. His performance is great. The lyrics are pretty fire. His flow is great. It's just the fact that it's on this beat with that hook that makes me not really like it that much, you know? Next track is Outside. And again, after a very weak track, we get a very, in my opinion, fire track. Look at this, dude. I just feel like this beat's so hard.
We been hanging outside and going in. Yeah, static, but it ain't got traffic.
This beat's swagger is just different.
Make you do a backflip balance on the beat. Yeah, you might just win a ring. Yeah, why they home on their home screens? Hanging outside.
That sound right there with the distortion is so awesome too.
Outside, young savage, get a nigga wet, cause I got more ties. I'm a wise guy.
I love that guitar doubling the melody, man.
We killing shit for real. Bitch, I know your baby daddy probably wanna kill me. I'm a real.
Not only is this track, the beat absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the swagger, the bounce to it is just different. You know, it's different. It's not your average, everyday trap beat. This one's got something special to it, and I think it's in the drum pattern. It makes you bounce to it, you know, a little better than the other songs do. But the feature on it is dope. I mean, 21 Savage kills his verse on this thing. He tends to be very hit or miss for me, although lately he has been hitting most of the times. His project was dope. I like listening to his most recent features. They've all been pretty dope. He hasn't had a lot of misses for me recently, so I will say that about him. But this one definitely made me, like, at the time when I first heard it, start to open up more to his music and to be more accepting of his verses and his whole style, because, you know, at first I really didn't like 21 Savage at all, but he grew on me for sure, and this is part of the reason why, was this verse right here. Outside is one of my favorite tracks off the project. Travis Scott absolutely kills it. He doesn't do too much, you know, the beat is very simple, and he keeps it simple as well. He just lets the beat and its bounce do all of the work for creating this vibe, you know. It's a great song. Next track is Goosebumps, which is arguably the best song on the project. Arguably, for sure. But definitely has the best feature.
Come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that high. Yeah, 713. Give me 21, yeah, I'm riding. Why they only
Flow is dope.
I'm pulling up right beside you.
Delivery is perfect.
She falls in clearly, her and all her guineas.
Yeah.
We at the top of
Yeah, I wanna press my I wanna breathe like I wanna be like I wanna press my life. Building, burn the building, take your bitch, rebuild the building just to fuck somebody.
Oh, the flow is so insane, dude.
That pussy to die for.
Like I said before, arguably one of the better songs, or the best song on the project. Definitely got the best feature. Kendrick Lamar just destroyed his verse on this. You know, the flow is too gnarly, too creative. Performance, the delivery, the energy to this track, the really fire beat, the incredible melodies that they created, the really interesting sounds that they chose, the really interesting plucked guitar sounds, and the wavy synths that they chose. It's just all too good to ignore, man. And then the next track also is one of my favorites. It's First Take featuring Bryson Tiller. It's just ridiculously wavy.
You can't go wrong for her say. I know that look on your face. You put you in your place. Then why you still here in my place? Yeah, you think too much. We all know. I ain't trying to go back to war with your morals. You come on.
Again, layering with the pitched down vocals. There he is. Hey yo, when's Bryson dropping another album?
Lil' mama, I still ain't heard from Lil' mama. We sponsor, I got love for you, but I'm not in love. Save me affection, all my blessings. Girl, you wanna all my blessings.
That one gets you in your feelings, bro. I don't care who you are, that one will get you into your feelings. It's such an awesome track, man. I need new music from Bryson. I need him to drop Serenity, you know, or a single or whatever. I need him to drop something new, man, because it's been too long, and man, is that man special. Yeah, this is a great track. I really like the production on this one. It's very smooth, you know, it's very well executed. The vibe is definitely so relaxing and laid back. Pick Up the Phone is next with Young Thug and Quavo. I really like this song, although a little bit overplayed. This one's just really fun, you know? It's just really fun to listen to. And the melody is too catchy. That 808 is great, that just came in. Never will I cheat on you, never will I commit treason, blowing a bag of you. They're such an unstoppable duo, man. You know, the only thing that I'll say bad about this track is that Quavo isn't really memorable on this song. I feel like just his verse felt unnecessary, you know? Travis and Young Thug killed it, and that beat is ridiculously catchy. I personally really love the instruments that they used to make the melody for this beat. It's just that Quavo wasn't memorable enough, you know? He didn't go hard enough on this track for me. But it's still an awesome song. Next is Lose.
I got shit to lose, can't let them come through. I got shit to lose, hold away with the groove.
I love those horns.
Wait for you, steady with the crew.
Strings now, really dope.
You never like them, can't let them come through.
Yeah.
I got shit, you know what we grew on. We go back like Vuitton and cool. Steady with the crew, steady with the crew.
It's a very smooth track, you know, it's got a really cool vibe to it. It's definitely got a more laid back feel. Although the beat is not necessarily slow, he takes a very relaxed approach to it in his delivery. It's got a really interesting vibe to it because of that, you know. It's a smoother track, but the beat still goes pretty hard, you know. Cassie makes a return on this track. She was the female vocal on SDP Interlude, and I personally really love her voice. I think that it's so soft, you know, and a really cool addition to this track. But yeah, it's just a really interesting track to listen to, you know, and it's not necessarily long. It's a really cool vibe to this one. So next track is Guidance.
I hope I wake up in another place. I haven't been around as you. I like to see you show me, follow me, follow me, follow me.
Yeah, man. There's nothing necessarily bad about the track. It's the beat that I don't really enjoy, you know? But I'm sure lots of people like that song. It's not like it's trash. It's just not for me. You know, there's a difference. When a song is trash, when a song is not good, I will let you guys know for sure. But in this case, it's not a terrible song. It's not trash. It's just not for me because I'm not really a fan of this style of beat, you know? So the last track is Wonderful featuring The Weeknd. Let's get it.
Hey, you do that every time. Ooh, we got a feeling you might strip it up, dog it down with you, yo.
That little melody is really catchy.
With you, yo. For the show now, you can only get that later on now. Oh my, what a wonderful time. Down, yeah, we do that 8 times. Ooh, we got a feeling you might.
I like the vibe of this track, and I think it's a really cool outro. I just think that after a while it gets a little repetitive and it might go on for a little too long. I do think that The Weeknd's feature is really nice on this though, but yeah, that's probably my main issue with this track is that it's just repetitive and goes on for too long. This should have been like 2 minutes long max, you know? It would have been great if that were the case. So, Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight by Travis Scott. How does it hold up? What were my thoughts the first time I listened to it compared to now? What are my main issues with this thing? So, when I first heard this, I was absolutely blown away by Travis Scott as an artist, you know, because I was just discovering his music at the time. I started getting into Travis Scott's music around the time that Huncho Jack Huncho dropped. And that was when I decided, you know what, everyone talks about this guy, I'm gonna give him a listen. And I listened to Rodeo, Birds in the Trap, all that. So I was really just in awe of him as an artist and the production and the whole style and sound that he could create, the transportative music, you know, the imagery in the sounds, in the production, and not just in the lyricism. Because imagery and lyricism is something that you come across a lot, but beats that make you see things, beats that take you somewhere else, that's not something that you get with every artist that you find. Artists like Kanye West, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, people like that with really ethereal and cinematic and just very colorful production. You know, it was something that was just so amazing to me at the time that the first time I heard this, I was kind of like starstruck. And so I felt like I loved every single track on this thing the first time I heard it. And with subsequent listens, I started realizing just how okay this project is. There are some very, very great takeaways from this, namely Goosebumps, Through the Late Night, Beebs in the Trap, Pick Up the Phone, the second half of Way Back, and First Take are my highlights of this thing. Everything else is just okay. It's done really well, but it doesn't hold up as well as albums like Rodeo or even Astroworld. You know, you listen to this, and the more you listen to it, the more you can pick out exactly what parts you like. Whereas Rodeo, to this day, you saw the video, when I listened to it, it is mind-blowingly good. It is something that is absolutely ridiculously special. And I don't feel like that's the case with this project. And that's not to say that this is bad at all. This is a great project. It's just that Travis Scott has even greater projects than this. And so, in light of that, this becomes a little more underwhelming the more you listen to his entire discography. And I think that that's fair. I don't think that that's being harsh. I don't think that that means that this is bad at all, like I said. It's just the truth to me, you know? It's still a great listen. You can still have a blast enjoying every single track on this. You can still take away very, very fun moments on this project. It's just not as special as Rodeo or even Astroworld, because I personally think Astroworld is really, really great. Definitely his second best work to me, not including his mixtapes. I'm just talking about his 3 albums. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this project in the comments section. If you're enjoying the content I'm making on this channel, consider supporting me with a subscription or following me on my social media or even becoming a patron on Patreon. That would be a awesome way for you to support this channel's growth. I would really appreciate any support at all coming from you guys. And don't forget, if you want a video on your music, hit me up on Instagram. I would absolutely love to talk to you if that's the case. And I'll be back in another video very soon. You all know what's next. We have the Kendrick Lamar series, starting with Good Kid, Mad City, going all the way through Damn. I will be back soon. I can't wait to start this series with you guys. I hope you're all excited as I am. Until then, stay safe, guys. Peace.